Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, America's kick-ass coach and psychologist. Here with some words of wisdom for us to ponder, to think about, to put into action today. So our card for today comes from the Nature Portals deck by Bruce and Carol Malner. The subtitle is Inspiration Through the Peace and Beauty of Nature. So had some peace and beauty this morning as I was out walking. Good morning, Beth, with the dog, and it was like 5:15 and raining. So there was nobody out. So that was very peaceful. There was a crow that talked to us. So I'm going to go look at my book and see what crow has to tell me. I think it's something about magic is in the air. Good morning, Joe. Glad you are here. Welcome. And it looks like someone else is here that I can't see, but really glad that you're here. A couple of people here that aren't popping up yet, but really glad you're here. So again, our card is from the Nature Portals deck. And here is our picture. Footprints in the sand. Footprints in the sand. So let's just take a couple of nice deep breaths. Coming into the present moment, right here, right now. Just letting your shoulders drop, wiggling a little bit. Just getting present for these words. The more present you can be for the words, the more you're going to carry them forward in your day, the more influenced your day is going to be by these words, which would be a lovely thing. The world is a friendly place. Take your next step. What catches you about that right off the bat? My thought is looking around at our world and the news that gets spewed at us, that seems kind of a stretch to believe that, to feel that. But when we can walk in those shoes, that the world is a friendly place, good morning, Lisa, it very much changes our outlook. Remember our filters. And good morning, Lori, glad you're here. We need to do lunch again soon. It changes our filters such that what we notice in the world is the good stuff, Now that doesn't mean we're ignoring the bad stuff, but it means we're not on guard, constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop, which is so not good for our mind, body, spirit system. So we want to come from this perspective that the world is a friendly place. Take your next step. So here are the words. Find a place that appeals to you and go for a walk. Even just 5 minutes of walking in nature will refresh your body and mind. Engage your senses to see, hear, and smell what's around you. And one of the things that I would suggest is use all of your physical senses. We so rely on sight. Use your other senses. Pay attention. Close your eyes so that the other senses get brought online more fully. And then move beyond your physical senses. Move to your other senses, your spiritual senses, the intuition that you have, that little divine sense of knowing. It may lead you to look somewhere, to use your other senses, or to listen differently, to notice something you otherwise wouldn't have noticed when you pay attention to that intuition part of you. Move at a pace that is comfortable. I always laugh at that because when I go out for a walk, pretty soon I'm just hustling along. No, slow down. And pretty soon I'm just hustling along. No, slow down. It's so ingrained in us that we have to hustle and bustle and do and all that stuff that it takes conscious effort and practice to change that. Move at a pace that is comfortable and enjoy the experience of moving forward one step at a time. And again, we get so handed a line of crap that there's leaps and bounds that we're supposed to be making. Good morning, Donine. Glad you're here. There's leaps and bounds and we must be productive and all this stuff that sets us up to not honor and appreciate the small steps forward that we're taking. So I'll give you one that I did yesterday. It was not fun. It was a huge challenge for me. As you know, I have this interesting dog who is a trauma dog and highly reactive, and we've been working on things and practicing, and he's so much better with traffic and he's so much better with people. Still not good with dogs though. Still not good with other dogs. So I tend to limit our walk. We go around the schoolyard, and that's our limit. It dawned on me yesterday as I was talking to a friend, good morning, Margaret, glad you are here, that I'm still very much operating out of fear, and that I don't want to let fear rule my life. I don't want to try to be second guessing the universe on when something bad is going to happen and trying to prevent it. I want to live. I want to just be. So yesterday afternoon, I didn't pick this time on purpose, but the universe kind of picked it. It was the point where the kids were getting let out of school over there. So we went for a walk, and I had in mind what road we were going to go down. Good morning, Judy. And it's a road that has houses closer to the road, and there's a lot of foliage. So it's not like being at the schoolyard where I can see for a long way, is there someone coming with a dog? It was a walk trusting spirit. Okay, I'm trusting we're going to be okay. We're going to go do this. Trying to expand our world a bit here. Were the dog not with me, I'd walk all over. It would be just fine. I don't care. I mean, if a dog comes out by me, I'm okay with that. When I'm walking with him, a whole different story. So, good morning, Bonnie. Glad you are here. So, we took off. My heart's pounding. I'm like, okay, I'm just turning this over to God. So I put it on a slip of paper and in my God jar in my mind, and trusted that this walk was going to be okay. So it was basically a trust walk. So we went down to a park, close to the park. We got, I don't know, maybe a block or two from the park, turned and came back. And when we came back, so interesting, a giant truck was going through, which is typically something the dog would react to. There were kids playing football, yelling and running. That would typically be something he'd react to. He did fine with those two things. Then I saw that the school, the janitor was out mowing the lawn with one of those gigantic mowers that they have at schools. TJ actually popped the tire on my garden tractor, attacking it, because he's so fear aggressive. So I'm like, well, we're gonna try this. We're gonna walk on the other side of the road, and we're going to go past this mower and see how it goes. He left it alone. And I think the the trainer we had in Upper Michigan had said, your energy, good morning, Terry, travels down the leash. The dog knows what you're feeling. I firmly believe that. So I was in this point of turning it over. Okay, Spirit, we're out for this walk. Keep us safe. Whatever happens, happens. This is divine right timing and divine right order. And there we go again. Sorry about that. He left all of those things alone, and we went back home. And it was interesting. My meditation for today had a theme in there about challenging your discomfort, being willing to feel discomfort so that you can expand your boundaries in this world. There's so many people who live these very, very small lives because they've allowed their fears to narrow their world. Keep pushing out on those boundaries of your world. Allow yourself to be uncomfortable. I'm going to an event tonight where I may know one person. I'm not sure if I will or not. We'll see. I'm going. I'm walking in this place by myself. There's so many, again, so a lot of women are very uncomfortable walking into a place by themselves. We need practice. We want a broader world. We don't want to be, okay, I'm comfortable at my house, I'm comfortable at my church, but only at a certain service. I'm comfortable at my grocery store, but only a certain day and certain time. Push against that. Move those walls out some. Walk in the sand barefoot. Try something different. Do a little something different. I don't care what it is. If you typically drink your coffee with your right hand, drink it with your left hand. Go to the bank at a different time. Go into the bank instead of just driving through. Put yourself around some people. Notice how that feels. I think a lot of people have been struggling with that post-COVID. Well, we're not even post, but as COVID is waning. They're uncomfortable being in places around people. Certainly wear your mask, that is fine. But make yourself more of a presence. See if you can stand out a little bit. See if you can allow your head to pop up above the crowd. So here's the quote. Oh, the last line here is might even want to go barefoot. It's Kahlil Gibran. Forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the wind longs to play with your hair. Again, go sit in a park. Go sit on a bench and watch the water for a while. Watch kids play. Be present for life. How much of your time, there's an app on your phone, I've got it on my phone, that tells me how much time I've spent on the phone, online. It's appalling. And yes, this counts against me for that, and so do some of the other things I do for work, but it's still too much time on screens. Too much time on screens. And I don't even own a TV. So all of what I have for screen time is the computer and the phone. It's still too much time. There's much more. So like even going out this morning in the rain, going for a walk. Yes, you do. Bonnie is amazing at going to do things that scare her. Long hikes, high hikes, going to see if she can find rattlesnakes, and she does. Bonnie's a snake aficionado, so that would be a wonderful thing in her world. I listen to people, and I listen to the self-limiting that they do. Ooh, I hate snakes. They're so yucky. No, they aren't. They're one of God's creatures. And if you're willing to allow someone to help you to touch them, they're not slimy. They're fine. They're fine. Really, all of God's creatures are fine when we appreciate them and respect them. Okay? The same with Mother Earth. We need to appreciate and respect. All right? But this framework of the world is a friendly place. Take your next step. How long have you been standing here on one leg with your foot in the air, hovering, waiting to take your next step? Plant that foot. Plant that foot. Pay attention. How does that feel? Don't zoom right past it. Spend some time with it. Ooh, this is uncomfortable. Try it anyway. Try it anyway. And many things you will find, like when I first went kayaking, I fell in love. It was like, this is awesome. Now I own 3 of them. So what are you willing to try? What are you willing to face? But the book that I just finished, she talks in one of her steps in her 5-step process is tell the truth. And by that she means own your own truth. So yesterday's truth was that I was operating out of fear and not being willing to extend our walks beyond the area where I could see if there were other dogs coming toward us. Now, if we go for a walk and a dog does approach us, is it going to be ugly? Probably. But do I want to miss all of the other opportunities to walk because someone else isn't wise enough to have their dog on a leash? No. No. So we're going to do our thing. We're going to do our thing. So I'd like for you to, at the very least, try this little process that they describe in the card, where you're just going to go for a walk in nature briefly. It might be a park. It might be a trail that's near you. It might be some old abandoned place that the lot is starting to get overgrown with plants again. Whatever it is, it might be wandering your backyard. I don't care how little it is. Just do something. Go out and smell, and because it just rained, everything smells really interesting. Go out and hear, just sit on your porch and listen. That crow was really talking to me this morning. I could have walked right past and totally ignored that sound, but I, again, was practicing tuning in to all of my senses, feeling the dampness in the air, paying attention, really being present. That's what I would like us to work on today. The world is a friendly place. Take your next step. Again, for those of you who would like to receive these via email, you can send the word yes to my email, bonnie@empowermentandpurpose.com, and I will add you to the email list so that you get them via email in addition to maybe watching live. Sometimes you can catch it, sometimes you can't, so that's one way to. And I'm also considering, so if you want to reply on here, that'd be fine. I'm also considering offering a little class on abundance, opening to abundance. So that can include money stuff, but it can include a lot of other stuff. And just, I want some eye-opening experiences in terms of there's so much more available to us than we allow ourselves to have. Have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.